What's up guys, Paramotor back at you with another video. Today I got a topic video for you that doesn't involve the aquarium fish that I just bought that now get to take a ride on a Panigale. Coolest fish ever, right? So, no mas curvy road since I need to go home, but we are going to hit up the freeway, which is a very good place to go considering my topic today is going to be motorcycle top speed. Motorcycle win, go fuck yourselves, cars. Oh man, Panera smells so good right now. Oh, it smells so good. Gotta get home soon, my football team's about to start. If they're even on TV today. I don't have the fucking NFL package because they want like $10,000 for it. I don't get these panhandlers, like, it's just laziness at its most extreme. I mean, with the time that you spend on the street corner, you could go and, like, apply for jobs and shit. Like, oh, look, he's got enough money for cigarettes. Out here smoking a cigarette, but he's fucking begging for money. Anyway, this is a question that I get asked fairly regularly in my personal life. How fast does a motorcycle go? Or like, oh, I bet you that thing goes 200 miles an hour or something along those lines. So I wanted to go ahead and address motorcycle top speed in today's video. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert in everything, besides for being an asshole. Hence that move right there. Oh. Alright guys, so I shot this whole vlog on the freeway, and then I realized that the wind noise was so bad it was hurting my ears, so you guys probably couldn't hear anything that I just said. So I'm going to go ahead and reiterate this vlog real quick. So, like I was saying, I get this question fairly regularly. How fast does that bike go? How fast does this bike go? You know, that bike probably goes 200 while this one goes 150, blah, 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 blah. And I just wanted to go ahead and just address it for everybody. I haven't fielded this question on YouTube, but I fielded it a lot in my personal life. So a lot of people just don't really know about motorcycles. You know, it's almost like the noob coming up to you and telling you that you have a headlight out on a Japanese bike. It's like, no, that's just the low beam. I don't have my high beam on. So anyway, so back in the 90s, all the Japanese motorcycle manufacturers were basically in a little bit of a top speed war. And, you know, the one bike would go 150, the next bike would go 155, and so on and so forth. And eventually, all these guys got together, all the heads of these companies got together and was like, hey, you know what? Just to conserve life, that means save money on R&D. We need to limit these bikes to a certain mile per hour because we are going to kill people and also spend too much money on R&D. So what they decided to do is limit all Japanese manufactured motorcycles to 300 kilometers an hour, which is 186 miles an hour standard, which is why your Kawasaki H2 with a bajillion horsepower only goes 186, the same as a ZX-10. That's why. If you guys ever wondered it, that is why. So it was because they had a gentleman's agreement to not have a bike that goes any faster because they wanted to save lives and also save a shitload of money on R&D. So that's the way it is on Japanese bikes. Obviously, this was a compact made by Japanese people. Japanese agreements do not fall onto European ears. So Ducatis and BMWs can go as fast as they want. This bike does not go 186 miles an hour. I think the fastest I've ever seen somebody get it is about 170, which is plenty fucking fast. But that's why you can see, like, you know, like a ZX-10 will go 186, and then a Ducati Panigale 1299, like its direct competitor, will go, you know, 190. And they'll be like, why is that bike going 190 something? You know, and you actually have to verify this by your own speedometers and everything, because Ducati, although it's not bound by the agreements, is kind of like, I don't really want to get dragged into this, so I'm just going to address the problem myself before I get made to do anything. So what Ducati does is that their screens blank out at 299 kilometers an hour, and they will continue to accelerate. Not for like ever, but they will continue to accelerate, and they'll go, you know, probably 190, 192. And I've seen some people push it and get pretty close to 200 miles an hour on a damn near stock Ducati Panigale. It has happened. I've seen videos. So whether or not you want to believe the video or not is up to you, but I have seen it. But anyway, so that happens with Ducatis and BMWs and stuff. Like, they're not bound by it. They can go slightly faster. Some of these bikes, like the Ninja H2, it will redline like 2,000 mile or 2,000 RPMs before where it cuts out. So like, it's electronically limited. The Edge 2 is not as fast from the factory as it can 100% go. Like, a lot of these bikes are tuned, so like, its top speed that it can physically produce with its tune is 186 miles an hour. So it'll give you everything that it has until then, when you can just program it and maybe gear it a little bit differently and probably make it go faster. So it's a little bit of trickery brought to you by the Japanese. I mean, I guess I mean, nobody really needs to go that fast. I mean, I'll be honest with you, nobody does. But I mean, I guess it's just bragging rights, I guess. I'm behind another fucking minivan, who thank God is not going to go the same way I am. So a lot of people don't know about Japanese car manufacturers doing the same thing. So for a while there in the 1990s, there's a lot more car research. There's a lot more research with cars and everything than there is for motorcycles, because motorcycles are a much smaller market. I've seen like a handful of motorcycles out and I've passed 1 million cars. See, like, everybody knows that there's less motorcycles on the road than cars. So what car manufacturers were doing in the 90s in Japan is limiting all their cars to 276 horsepower, which I'm assuming is like 300 fucking metric horsepower or something like that. There's probably a big round number that it is, but they were doing the same thing and having this horsepower war. And it's why with the 3000 GT, which is one of my all-time favorite cars, and especially one of my favorite cars from the 90s, the 3000 GT in Japan has 276 horsepower. The same vehicle delivered to the US will have stated 320 horsepower. So like, yeah, I mean, this is kind of an agreement, but most people bend it a little. It's not like they signed anything, it's just a gentleman's agreement. So more trickery by Japan, I guess. But then, you know, cars ended up having a lot more horsepower eventually, and, you know, 320 wasn't that much for your top-ranked car anymore. Like, I mean, fuck, like an 8-cylinder Mustang will have 300 horsepower, no problem, right? And then, like, you tune it a little bit, and fucking, like, look at some of these supercars now. I mean, some of these supercars are coming with 500 horsepower standard, you know, or more, you know? I mean, fuck. Depending on how much money you want to spend, I mean, you can get a car out the factory with 700 horsepower. I guess you can spend as much money on anything that you want, I guess. I don't know. But I wanted to talk about this subject. It's just a question that I get. And it's an interesting piece of history, to be honest with you. When, you know, all these bikes, you see them on YouTube doing top speed runs, and it's like, why is everybody stopping at 186? It's just weird. I highly doubt that the Suzuki and Honda and Kawasaki motors are all making the exact same horsepower. They're not. They're just electronically and geared controlled to the point where they can't make more than that. Can't go faster than that from the factory. A lot of these bikes are unlockable. There's unlockable power in a lot of these bikes, you know? Kind of like a video game achievement. Only not really. Anyway, guys, that's Paramoto with a history lesson today. I appreciate you following me along. Please make sure to subscribe, hit that like.